handshake.
We're ready to go. Oh, and it looks like Jason starts out with a pretty good hand, especially if he's going first. He's got a Xerneas. He's got that Bridget.
He's got the energy attachment.
Oh, yeah. It allows him to go out, get like 2 more Xerneas and the Regirock and really start building up that energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Little fist bump at the start there. All right, so there's the Bridget right off the bat.
And let's see what's prized and what's not, shall we? Well, the Regirock is the one of is definitely in the deck.
I see another Xerneas being pulled to the front there. So
oh, and he's getting that Orangaroo. That might be real important.
Yeah, he's gonna take this turn to really get things going.
There's the attachment. I know he has the Fairy Garden, the Ultra Ball, and the Max Elixir. So if he's not dumping too... Oh, he likes to just kind of play it safe.
Yeah, he knows he's going against Garbodor. He knows he needs to conserve items, and frankly, he can just conserve them all right now. He's got a good enough start to start rolling. Until Eamon can show him a threat, there's no reason for him to go aggro.
Well, Eamon did just end him, so maybe that messes up the game plan a little bit. Not knowing... Now, Jason won't have as much time to think out his turn.
Absolutely.
But he did land that Xerneas break.
Yep, Xerneas break, another energy, a Fairy Garden. Really not too bad of an end for Jason.
And I'm pretty sure we're just going to see him start Geomancing this following turn. There's not much... And Eamon misses the energy attachment, which could be huge against this deck.
Yeah, against these fairy accelerating Xerneas decks, missing an energy attachment is going to cost it, because you've got to be able to keep attacking. You have to stay on top of their energy, and that whiff for Eamon is going to be a big deal, and it's really going to open the door for Jason to take the lead in this first game.
Jason kind of unsure on whether or not he wanted to play the Fairy Garden there, but elects to just keep it in the deck instead.
Yeah, I think Jason knows that he's gonna want to time those Fairy Gardens for when he actually needs them. It's pretty safe to assume that there's gonna be some field blowers blowing around.
How many gardens is...
Jason runs 4 gardens, so actually he probably could have afforded to go ahead and put one in play.
And he's definitely going to be able to knock out any of Eamon's stadiums that Eamon's looking to play. And hit that Max Elixir, not a problem. And with 15 energy in the deck, that's a pretty good chunk.
Yeah, that's already 5 energy on the table for Jason.
So we're already looking at 100 damage, and it's turn 2 here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those weird scenarios where Eamon played the Choice Bands over the Fury Belts, and Choice Band does nothing in this matchup.
No, it really doesn't. The only thing he can potentially hit with the Choice Band in this matchup is Tapu Lele, which I don't think Jason's really going to show unless he has to.
And we see Eamon uses GX attack and Big Wheel. Now the real question is does Jason have an N to get rid of all these cards that Eamon's about to draw?
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Jason does. I think I saw 2 or 3 Fairy Gardens in that hand. Double colorless, and I don't know what else, but I don't think he has an N. So unless he top decks now to an N, I think Eamon's going to get to keep those cards. So there goes the Fairy Garden. Looks like we're going to have an attach here in a moment. He's counting up damage. He's already thinking about striking. Goes with the second attach. The active free retreat with the Fairy Garden. Into the Xerneas break, and he's going to go ahead and start hitting. He's doing a nice solid 120.
That's what it was. Jason kept the Lele in his hand, but Eamon hexed and then Big Wheeled, so he got to keep all those cards.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Eamon, though, this could mean that he's able to go out and get a Lysander and really start putting it to him.
Absolutely. Eamon ditches some energy for an Ultra Ball.
It looked like he double Ultra Balled there.
Yep.
And that's exactly what it was.
So he gets the Garbodor and the Trubbish. So we're gonna see those hit the field here in a moment.
I don't know how much that ability Garbodor means though in this match. I wouldn't think much at all.
Really, the only thing it's gonna stop on Jason's side is the Oranguru and the Tapu Lele, which I don't think is gonna be critical in this particular matchup.
Oh, Eamon just got him to thin out the deck there. He sycamored both of those cards away.
And with no damage on Eamon's bench, Drampa's Berserk only does 80.
And this also sets up Jason to be in quite a nice spot where he now has a Sycamore for whenever he needs to refuel, but now that Eamon ditched a whole bunch of energy, it's kind of at the point to where he's not in no rush.
Yeah. Jason can honestly just sit back in this game at this point and play extremely conservatively. He's taken a 2-prize attacker without having lost a prize himself. He can afford to trade single prize attackers the rest of the game if he wants to.
Oh, yeah. But with that Lele in his hand, he doesn't have to. He can always target down one of those big GXs that are on Eamon's board.
Yeah, as long as he's got the energy for it and a Lysander in his deck, at any moment, Jason can go ahead and take another chunk out of Eamon and put this game quickly out of hand.
And it looks like Eamon's really in the tank about this supporter choice. He keeps looking at the teammates, skimming through, looking at the hand. He's not sure what he wants to do at this point.
Yeah, I don't think this was a deck that Eamon really expected to face today. I think he's kind of unprepared for this matchup, and he's trying to figure out what approach he wants to take to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a weird matchup that you don't see a lot of. So it's hard to know exactly how to play around it and what to do.
And it doesn't help that Jason's done an extraordinarily good job of limiting his items. Garbodor is not going to be able to strike for much, and Drampa just cannot trade with these Xerneas breaks.
And only
So
doing 20.
Just a 20 on the Trash Avalanche, that's just underscores exactly how well Jason's playing this matchup right now. He's just completely stopping Eamon's game in its tracks.
And now he's got another break, and he's just going to be able to swap it out and knock out this Garbodor in one hit.
Yeah. I think this game's going to probably be over in just a couple turns unless Eamon can really figure something out. But with 2 breaks up, it's going to be really hard to put the game out of Jason's reach.
Oh, yeah. Point. And I think it's even more difficult knowing that there's no way to actually eliminate that large chunk of energy that's sitting on that Regirock.
Yeah. It's there. And there's nothing Eamon can do to get to that energy. And any more energy that goes there. And once he gets an experience turn on that Regirock, even if he takes out his Xerneas break, he's still going to get one of those 2 energy back.
I definitely think that if there's time at the end of this, which if play continues the way it is, there definitely should be. I'd definitely like to get Jason down here and get his thoughts on the deck because this is pretty interesting.
Yeah, this is definitely it's a deck that we have seen in the past, but in terms of the meta today, this was a really interesting and I think a really smart choice.
I think it hasn't been real solid in a long time.
Yeah, it's one of those decks that it really depends on the meta shift. And it is a game that this is a deck that can limit its items very effectively because its Pokemon generate most of the effects that it needs. And I think this was an excellent read for a Garbodor heavy meta, and I think Jason's going to fare well in this top 8 with that deck choice.
Oh yeah, definitely. Jason going and get that Hex Maniac. I would assume just to Sycamore it out of the deck. And we see those key things that we saw some other players miss today. Of I just need to thin my deck just to make sure that I'm gonna draw what I need to draw.
Right. Yeah. If you've got cards that are dead in a matchup and you've got the ability to pull them out and get rid of them, that's
this game's
valuable.
over.
Yeah. Eamon scoops. He realizes that it's a done deal. So they're gonna pick their cards up and shuffle up, and they're gonna get into game 2. If I'm Eamon, I don't know how I'm gonna play this matchup.
It's real hard, right? This might be one of the few matchups where you gotta definitely question on whether or not you want to go first or not. And I know it sounds odd because we were just saying earlier, like, you basically always want to go first.
Right.
But you got to be questioning whether or not you want to let them get turn 1 Geomancy.
Yeah, because Xerneas absolutely benefits from the turn 2, unless for some reason they can't get the Xerneas to the active position with an energy, but probably 75% of the time or better, they're going to have that.
And I mean, like, going second in a lot of the old fairy decks, like the fairy toolbox decks, wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, when you go second and you're still going to take that energy lead. You're not behind. I mean, if the player who goes before you as a fairy player, they need to hit their attachment and 2 successful elixirs to get to the same spot you're going to get with a single attachment during your turn.
Yeah, and that's not including the fact that Jason does play elixirs. So if Jason is able to hit 2 elixirs and 1 energy attachment from his hand, he's got 5 energies on the board turn 1.
Yeah, it's the potential of Xerneas break decks and the acceleration and the amount of damage they can start putting out after just a couple turns is really ridiculous. And the fact that it's a single prize attacker, it makes it hard. It's a really good endurance deck, and it really taxes these decks that play the big GXs and EXs that have those high health, but they give up that extra prize.
Oh, he pulls a Trubbish to the front, but I was kind of... Oh, we're just going with the Trubbish, all right.
Yeah, I honestly, I think the army of trash is Eamon's really only option, but the problem is that it's really easy for Jason to play around it by limiting his items. That being said, Jason does have a bit of an inoptimal start with that Oranguru. He really wants the Xerneas up front. So I think Jason is going to have to play a few more items this game than he did in the last game, which might open the door for Eamon to gain a bit of footing.
Yeah, at least a little bit, we would hope. But I don't know if Jason is playing Floatstone by any chance.
Jason does not play Floatstone, but I'm looking and I am seeing a Ninja Boy. So if he were to find a Ninja Boy, that Oranguru could very quickly become a Xerneas. But I don't think Jason has that or an out to that right this minute. Oh, but he could if he... I think he's going to. If it's in there, he's going to do it. No, he's actually going with the Sycamore. Okay. I'm a little surprised by that. I think the Ninja Boy would have been appropriate there, but...
I think seeing the Fairy Garden come down and then the Sycamore, he could be digging for a Max Elixir and still just trying to keep the energy on it. It looks like he whiffed it, but...
That's true. That's yeah. He did pick up that Regirock in a second Xerneas, though, so really not a bad turn, and he did get to retreat the Oranguru out and present a Xerneas. So that, while he didn't cash in to the extent he would have liked, it was still a pretty good pickup off that Sycamore.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. The only thing it looks rough for Jason is there's not currently a supporter in his hand.
Yeah. But fortunately for him, Eamon doesn't know that. Eamon might very well end before the turn's over.
There's also, there's this high likelihood... Oh, well, there's the end. But there was also a high likelihood of Jason just being able to go energy, break, choice band, draw cards with Oranguru.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the other thing about the fairy decks is it's one of those decks that it can miss a supporter a couple turns in a row and really not be hurting as long as it's able to do Geomancy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. As long as this deck is still able to build up energy and gets to the point to where it one hits the GXs, that's all it needs to be.
Yeah. And Jason did get a pretty good looking hand off that end. He's got an energy, he's got an Ultra Ball. I think he might have a supporter or two in there as well. So he's got the ability to actually start exploding on the next turn.
Well, we see the big wheel again. And we also see that Eamon did throw choice bands on those Drampas, even though they don't really mean anything. I mean, it's clearly just to get them out of the deck, but... And we do also see that the Garbodor has a float stone on it, so all Jason's abilities are locked up.
Yeah, so that means no more Lele for Jason, no using a Rangaroo. But really, it's not that big of a deal. Jason's going to drag up the Trash Alliance Garbodor.
And he's just going to stick it.
Yeah. Geomancies gets 2 more energy on the field, and like that, Jason's got 4 energy on the field now.
Jason's acting a lot like, okay, you drew a whole bunch of cards, but if those cards don't matter and you get stuck, it's over.
Yep. So Eamon was holding the float stone. I attached that and attached another choice band, and then went ahead and got a DC out there too, and went ahead and played an N. So both players are going back to 6 cards.
Which, if we notice what Jason's been doing, he hasn't been playing any of his items. So, at this point, him being N to 6 is just fine for him.
Yeah. The longer Jason can go without playing items, the more he controls this game.
Oh, for sure. Oh, there goes the Fairy Garden, though, which could be big, even though we already know that Jason's going to win the Stadium War as soon as it starts. Oh, we do see a knockout, though.
Yep, the Stadium actually did come in big there. Putting the damage on the new Trubbish there was a big deal. It allowed Drampa to go ahead and hit for the larger bit of damage from Berserk there. Which it could be a big deal because Jason doesn't have a ton of energy on the field just yet. We're going to bring a Rangaroo up, though.
And hit for 120. So what that means, though, is that even if he knocks out a Rangaroo, all Jason needs is a break in an energy, and he one-hits the Drampa.
Yep, and I think that's probably exactly what Jason's thinking. I think he's trying to bait Eamon into a false sense of security, but I think Jason's still got this in hand at the moment. I mean, I think he is going to have to start playing some items to get things rolling, because he's not going to be able to ride out those 2 Xerneas.
And I'm kind of surprised he's going back for the Rangaroo, knowing that the abilities are still locked up.
Well, that is an interesting call. But given that he's not as well set up as he was last game, it might be that he's thinking that Rangaroo is, that's quick damage compared to building up the Xerneas break, so he might just be trying to ride that Rangaroo's 120.
Yeah, definitely. And I think at this point, Jason's just kind of hoping to keep Eamon off the double colorless energy, which Eamon top decked.
So Jason did pick up 2 breaks, got the energy attachment, so he's going to be able to take that knockout that we talked about. That trades nicely for Jason, and Jason takes a slight lead, but next Drampa is powered up.
And unfortunately, the Drampa's just going to start running through these Xerneases.
Yeah, this game is starting to swing very much in Eamon's favor right now. If Jason doesn't get something going this turn, I think Eamon's going to actually run through him in this game.
Jason desperately needs a way to knock off an energy off this Drampa. Because if it just sits here, it's over.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Jason's list, and all he can do is kill it, and that's not something that's an option to him this turn. like Jason's asking for some clarification from the judge here.
Jason took 2 prizes, played an N,
And then drew too many cards.
and then drew 6, unfortunately. But all that should be is the 2 cards get revealed to the other player and shuffled back in. There shouldn't be any like heavy penalties for this or anything like that.
So we're just gonna just a small interruption of the gameplay here while the judge works through this with the head judge. But I'm pretty sure Tom is right. I think we're just gonna see those cards shuffled in.
The old rule used to be you put them back on top in the order that you drew them from, but they stayed face up on the deck, so that way your opponent knew.
Yeah.
Now they just get shuffled in.
And that's what's going on. The judge is shuffling the cards in right now.
And we're just trying to hit it. But to be fair, Eamon's not putting anything like energy-wise anywhere else.
Yeah, let's see if
So like
if Jason hits a double colorless, can that Lele do enough?
he actually needs double colorless choice band right now.
Yeah, he does, and that is a possibility. If Jason were to hit that, it might be an odd swing in this match.
Yeah, it might actually kind of stick Eamon, but Eamon did draw the psychic energy that he needs. But he's going to the Drampa. He's not going to the Garbodor. There's the choice band.
Another Lele.
And there's the DC.
Wow. So that was a fortunate turn for Jason. He's definitely he's not out of the water completely. The Drampa on the bench still poses a very real threat.
But Eamon does have to get a double colorless energy, but
Well,
he
he's
top
got the
decks the teammates.
So that's guarantee on the double colorless.
And the muscle band.
Yeah, that's game. So Eamon takes game 2. So we will be going to a game 3 in this this top 8 match here, and we're gonna by the time they set up and stuff, we're still gonna have about 35 minutes for this last game. So we can pretty much rest assured that we're gonna see a full game 3 here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it really could go either way, as we saw in the first 2 games. Either one of those decks could get off to a start that just outpaces the other.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I think the key for Eamon might be streaming Drampas that can actually do the full damage on the Berserk, and for Jason, it's a matter of getting those energies out fast and getting the Xerneas up and not allowing Eamon to use his Garbodors.
It is an odd spot though, Tyler, right? Like, you want to get the Drampas up and running, but you only want them if they're hitting for the full amount of damage. Otherwise, they're not trading at a very favorable rate for you.
Yeah, the Drampas 100% have to be taking a knockout every single time. Because if you do not get them to that point, Jason's Xerneas eventually will get to the point where they are taking the Drampas out, and then you're not trading.
It's very similar to a deck we saw earlier in Darkrai, where eventually that energy just snowballs that damage to be so high. They're taking one-hit knockouts on EXs and GXs with Fury Belts.
Yeah. Yeah, these decks that play off the total energy on your side of the field are some of the decks with the highest damage potential in the game, and when there's acceleration involved, when you've got like Baby Eviltal with Oblivion Wing or Xerneas with Geomancy, it snowballs very quickly, and Jason's got a very nice start here. He's got the Xerneas up front. He was able to Ultra Ball for the Lele into the Bridget, so he's pulled another Xerneas, the Regirock, and
it does look like the Oranguru was prized this time,
which could be a factor, but Eamon has been pretty quick to shut the abilities off as well. So,
Now,
Jason may
see,
not.
I think that was a key move that we didn't see last time. The experience share got on the Regirock, and that's huge for the Xerneas deck.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna stop. Roughly half of the energy loss that's coming off these Xerneas. Jason's only gonna be attaching 2, and he's gonna get 1 back on that Regirock, and that's gonna slow any sort of counteraction that Eamon can present to Jason's snowball effect.
And we see another big wheel. Eamon's showing he's not afraid to just big wheel turn 1, turn 2.
Yeah.
And kind of just be like, okay, I have all these cards, do something about it.
It's been bold, and so far I don't believe he's gotten end out of it, so I can't blame him for just sticking with it.
It's gonna be big to see what Eamon gets out of this, and if he gets to keep it.
So we've got the attached return from Jason.
And we did see Eamon pull the double colorless energy that he needed. That's a choice ban. Oh, DCE on the Regirock is huge.
And I think we got a break that's going to be coming down here.
He actually might hold off just in case Eamon has a way to like Lysander that Xerneas and knock it out. He doesn't want his break to go anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we just saw looked like another elixir just connected.
No, it was a Geomancy.
It was the Geomancy, okay.
Oh, and here we go. This is where Drampa gets rolling.
The question is, does Eamon have a DCE? He probably does. He's got the Lysander, so it's very likely that he's holding that DCE as well. He's going to be taking a swing at something. If he's got a choice ban, he might go for that Lele just to take a quick 2 prizes.
Oh no, he's swinging all out for the Xerneas right there.
Yep. There goes the Xerneas. 1 energy goes back to the Regirock with the experience share. But Eamon does score an early blow, which I think is important. I think Eamon's got to outspeed Jason. More energy hits the table.
That Ninja Boy.
Yep, Ninja Boy Lele is now off the table. The 4th Xerneas is now out there.
And here we go with another Geomancy.
So Jason is hoping that he can win this in the long game in a prize exchange. Takes the 2 prize score off the board. Eamon's going to probably, he's definitely going to take another Xerneas out here. But on the following turn, Jason has the potential to score the big hit against that Drampa. And Eamon opts actually Lysander the Xerneas with 2 energy, which is a good play. It does make it so Jason's gonna have to work a little harder in that he's gonna lose 1 energy and he's gonna have to find an additional attach for one of those bench Xerneas.
Oh, he has to start finding his max elixirs and actually using them.
Yeah, Jason's gonna need some fast acceleration, but honestly, if he can find it, he's gonna start turning this game pretty quickly. So we see the break, we see the choice band, and looks like we sycamored. He finds the energy attachment, another break as well. It's about as good a turn as Jason could have hoped for. He takes out the Drampa, picks up 2 prizes.
Now the only thing that he has to worry about is that the Drampa in the back can't come up and get him.
Yeah. If Jason can get to that back Drampa before it gets to him, I think Jason takes absolute control in this game.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Eamon has to hit this double colorless energy this turn.
You know, though, I'm looking at it. I think even if Eamon does hit that double class and brings that Drampa up, I think Jason's probably still going to be able to return the knockout with a single attachment.
He'd actually be one short. He would need the choice band.
Oh, yeah, so he's going to need a choice band or perhaps a max elixir.
Yep. But I feel like if Jason's able to turn around and one hit this Drampa, the game could just be over.
Yeah, it very well could be. Let's see if he can find.
And there's the choice band
and the attachments. That's gonna definitely put Eamon in a tough spot unless Eamon finds a way to take that Xerneas out. That's pretty much gonna seal the deal. There's a load of energy out there. It doesn't attach a choice band, but I'm seeing 2 double colorless and 5 fairy on the field for a total of 9 energy. So that's 180. I believe he's got the math.
Oh yeah, he does.
So Jason wisely keeps that choice band for later.
I actually counted wrong and thought that both fairy energies would end up going to the discard pile.
Yeah, that would do it. Yeah, the experience share. It's like you said at the beginning. That's just really key.
But now Jason's all in on this one Xerneas break.
Yeah, because that Regirock in the back might have a bunch of energy, like literally cannot do anything. And once that Xerneas break goes down right now, that Regirock has to come up, and that would end it for Jason.
But the big thing is Eamon has to end or knock out the Xerneas break this turn.
Yeah, and
Jason is holding the VS Seeker. I think Eamon just played teammates again.
It looks like he did, yes. That's an interesting choice. I'm not sure if that was the right one. I thought that the end really was kind of the only option for him. But let's see what he picked up here and what he's thinking. So he's going to attach the Garbodor, so he's looking to attack with Garbodor. Got another Trubbish. Knocking out the stadium. 100 damage, not enough. VS Seeker, Light Stander, that's game and match. So Jason and Annichiarico will be advancing on the top 4. Still a really good showing for Eamon as a first-year master.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely a top 8 in a field of 42 is nothing to scoff at. And he played some very solid games in a matchup that was, kind of a rough one for him, really. He really had to. Jason forced him to have to play the prize trade the way Jason wanted to play it, because Jason did not allow Eamon to use those Garbodors.
Not at all.
So we're going to be... actually, Jason just here joined us, so we're going to talk to Jason real quick about his match with Eamon.
It's a nice, comfy white chicken rest. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, congratulations on making top 4.
Congrats.
Interesting matchup there.
Yeah, it's like 50-50-ish. Game 1, he discarded double colorless Psychic, and then double colorless Psychic again off 2 Ultra Balls. So I was like, alright, this game's kind of mine. But then game 2 was like, eh.
Yeah.
Game 3, got 2 Xerneas set up.
And you really forced him to have to play with the Drampas rather than the Garbodors. You really limited your items really well.
Yeah, the deck is really good at doing that, because turn 1 Bridget for 3 guys, Geomancy is pretty much, you could just do that all day, and they have to attack with Drampa, and then it's very easy to just take 6 prizes.
So coming to a deck choice today, what led you down the road you went down?
Well, usually I play Turbo Dark, but this deck I think accomplishes Turbo Dark's strategy more efficiently because Geomancy, you're getting more energy in play, for doing less. Also, I think the Xerneas has better Drampa Garb matchup. Overall, I just really like the deck.
Yeah, and the prize trade's favorable for you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about your potential matchups in the top 8?
So I'm pretty sure I'm playing against Frankie Durso's Greninja in top 4. I haven't really played that matchup at all. I'm playing one Hex Maniac, so hopefully that'll come into play. I'm pretty sure it's just going to matter if I can get enough energy in play to be one-shotting Greninjas.
Yeah, definitely. When you chose this deck, was there anything that you were worried about coming into today? I mean, like, obviously...
Metagross.
Yeah, Metagross, but...
Tabu Bulu, my friend Anthony Alvarez was the guy who got me playing this deck. He says Tabu Bulu is a really, really bad matchup. So it was that and Metagross that I didn't feel like playing against today. But a lot of Drampa Garb today, which I was like, okay.
Yeah, we saw a lot of Garbodor decks today, whether Espeon or Drampa. So you seem to have a pretty favorable matchup against either of those decks.
Yeah, because Garbodor, if you have a deck that can play around it, Drampa is a solid attacker, but when it's trading one prize for 2, it's just not gonna cut it.
Is there anything you would change about the deck?
Yeah, I would like to make it more consistent if possible. I'm playing 4 and 3 Sycamore and only 2 Lele. I'm thinking about bumping it up to 3, possibly taking out the Ninja Boy, although it's helped some today.
Yeah, we saw that was a pretty interesting card choice. We almost expected it game 1.
Yeah.
Or not game 1, game 3.
Yeah, the Ranger.
Yeah.
No, it helps because Regirock, your opponent absolutely cannot do anything about it unless they're playing Decidueye or Ninetales. So eventually it just gets so many energy on it that you could Ninja Boy into Lele and then just be swinging for a massive amount of damage. Yeah, if I didn't have Regirock in the deck, I wouldn't play Ninja Boy, but with Regirock, Ninja Boy real good.
Yeah, we talked about how the one of Regirock is basically one of the only things in the format that can't really be touched right now. Whether, because the only things we really have are like Field Blower and
Lysander.
Yeah, Lysander, Ability Locks, and it doesn't fall under any of that.
It's really, really good. The only thing I wish is if it was on Pokemon Online, so I could actually play the deck online, but no, it's not there.
Get your stuff together, PTCGO.
Yeah, get together Pokemon.
It's on there, but I think you had to get it during the first week
Yeah,
or whatever,
it's like Jirachi promo, except they didn't feel like doing a campaign for that. So,
yeah. Well, thank you very much.
All
And,
right, thanks.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We hope to see
Thanks
you again.
So Green Lantern's breaking into the Batcave, and what does he discover? A cave inside the Batcave.
Caveception.
Yes.
Their
lip sync
I
battle.
heard she's not even in the movie that much.
What? Well, of course. It's Mary Jane. It's not Mary Jane Presents. It's Spider-Man Homecoming. Okay? And you score 6 victory points. But while that Flash is in play, the Rogues cannot use their game effect, which is called Teamwork. Right? So when I